I stand amazed in the presence of Jesus the Nazarene, and wonder how he could love me, a sinner condemned unclean. How marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. For me it was in the garden, he prayed, not my will but thine. He had no tears for his own griefs, but sweat drops of blood for mine. How marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful. On the last, when with the ransomed in glory his face I at last shall see, 'twill be my joy through the ages to sing of his love for me. How marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. Let's remain standing. We'll turn to page 81. Let's do the first and fourth. Draw me near, page 81. I am thine, O Lord, I have heard thy voice, and it told thy love to me. But I long to rise in the arms of faith, and be closer drawn to thee. Draw me nearer, nearer, blessed Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Draw me nearer, 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 blessed Lord, to thy precious bleeding side. On the last, there are depths of love that I cannot know till I cross the narrow sea. There are heights of joy that I may not reach till I rest in peace with thee. Draw me nearer, nearer, blessed Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Draw me nearer, 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 blessed Lord, precious bleeding side. Amen. You may be seated. As far as our prayer cards this evening, does anybody need one of the blue prayer cards? If you do, just raise your hand. I know Gordon's got some there in the back. Or if you need a prayer list, I think he has those as well. So either a blue card or a prayer list, just raise your hand. Before we get into our service this evening and start looking at some of the announcements and prayer requests, I'm going to ask John Nance if you would open us up in prayer, please. Amen. Well, we do welcome you out to our service this evening. And as most of you know, our pastor and Miss Jess and the kids are away and they're heading, I guess they're in Florida now. I think the last that I heard, they were already in Florida, but they're taking Hannah to college. And I think they're kind of making a few stops along the way and having some time as a family before Hannah officially starts, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, I believe is probably her first day. But do be in prayer for them. And certainly I don't have anybody going off to college, but I know with Jared starting high school, that was enough of a kind of a jolt that, oh no, he's getting older and I am too. So, be in prayer for them because this will be a transition for them. As far as just some updates for prayer request, Mary Castine, she is still at Randolph Rehab on Presnell Street in room 101. Jim Hill, he is home. He's weak, but he is feeling a little bit better. So do continue to remember Brother Jim. Sarah Perkins, Brother Paul, have they officially scheduled her surgery yet, or 18th? Okay. So on the 17th of this month, Miss Sarah will go in and they'll just kind of check to make sure there's no blockages. And then as it stands right now, her surgery will be the 18th. And Charles Watson at Universal Healthcare in Ramseur, he's in room 112. And certainly continue to remember the family of Paul and Lucy King, and just remember them during this time as Paul lost his brother. And I believe the funeral was this morning at 11, I think. So just continue to remember them in prayer as well. One announcement, this is concerning the upcoming Sunday service. This is Laboring Together Sunday, and I think Pastor Troy said we were going to have a pitch-in meal after the morning service. So that would be each family bringing enough food for your family plus one. And I think most of you that have been here a while, you understand what we mean by that. So just bringing enough to cover you and possibly some visitors as well. We'll have our afternoon service at 2 that will be kind of taking the place of the evening service, but afternoon service at 2. And then the special speaker is Mr. Frank Camp from Ambassador Baptist College. And just kind of a note with Laboring Together Sunday and Labor Day weekend, the camp is open for church members Friday through Monday. So just be mindful of that. At this time, we'll take a look at just some announcements, and then we'll start to get into our prayer list this evening. Okay, I think tonight's the last night for the food drive. Is that right, Eric? If you've got any items for the food drive, just make sure you get those turned in this evening, and we certainly appreciate everything that's been brought in so far, and certainly know that that will be put to good use. I mentioned Laboring Together Sunday. We do have a baby dedication coming up, and that's Sunday, September 27th. And if you have a child you would like dedicated, I think they'll need the information by this Sunday, I believe. So just keep that in mind. And I think there's some information slips on the table there in the lobby. All right. As far as our prayer list this evening, if you've got any cards that need to be turned in, if you'll hold those up, and Gordon will collect those, and we'll take a look at those in just a moment. Amen.